Playing catch up with WAPTEK. Here we go. Not Java. It's a condiment day. Request. I was told by some sage to disregard all buzzwords because they are meaningless. Okay. Currently disregarded buzzword or buzz phrase is manipulate the election, as in the Russians tried to manipulate the election. What is Obama and the news outlets meaning when they say this? Don't lump me in with the news outlets and Obama. Please. It's not the election. But anyway, here we go. Surely there must be more. Did the Russians hack or alter the voting machines' outputs? Did the Russians mess with people's minds with brainwave altering beams? I like how the hyperbole comes out only one way. From outer space to get them to change the vote. Is there anything to this besides the Russians did it? The U.S. Congress was going to have a hearing on the topic, but the CIA would not release a statement on proof of their allegations. The only things I found is this quote from the Washington Post. Intelligence agencies have identified individuals with connections to the Russian government, providing WikiLeaks with thousands of hacked emails from the Democratic National Committee and others, including Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, Podesta. According to U.S. officials, those officials describe the individuals as actors known to the intelligence community. Yes, they are known to the intelligence community. They're also known to the computer security community, which cross paths a great deal of the time, and it's annoying. And part of a wider Russian operation to boost Trump and hurt Hillary's chances. Helped WikiLeaks by releasing emails. I call BS. This is red fear. The Russians are coming. Only if they're breathing hard. Okay. To cover this really quickly. Everybody plays games with words on this, so I'm just going to say this flat out. China, Russia, and many countries attempt to manipulate public opinion in other countries, the same as the United States does this to those countries and other countries as well. Because it's marketing. You're selling your country. You're making yourself look like the good guy. You're trying to counteract the propaganda they do within the country. The point is, the Russians do actually try to break in and screw with things. So do the Chinese. You can go watch, there's something that looks like War Games, the video game or something. You can watch this happening. This isn't a discussion where we say, well, I want to know if you're in favor or against Trump or Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. That's not relevant. Disregard buzzwords. No, don't disregard buzzwords, but be aware that they're buzzwords. Manipulate the election is a buzzword, just the same as voter fraud is a buzzword. It's election fraud, not voter fraud. Individual voters have the ability to change one vote. Election fraud can affect thousands of votes. And rigging elections months or years beforehand, accidentally shooting yourself in the foot, stupid Democrats and Republicans, is how this happens too. Both sides are now talking about fixing their gerrymandering because both sides were guilty of gerrymandering because the people who did the gerrymandering aren't Hillary Clinton or anybody involved in a national election. They're involved in every 2 years we elect people to be House of Representatives or whatever, and representatives within our state legislatures. And these people love their cushy jobs and they run unopposed. Look at the ballot this year. Shut up and do it. How many people had nobody running against them? How many people have been reelected repeatedly? You might have noticed nobody wants to bother because they keep manipulating or making sure that it's manipulated so that they'll always win. But unfortunately, in a couple of states, which I'm not going to bring up, oddly enough, a pretty good share of them were Republican, but we'll just say Republican and Democrat people, found out that they weren't going to keep their position because they shot themselves in the foot because a bunch of people moved from one county to another and they got the election wrong. Hey, I rigged that election. I'm supposed to stay in this position as head dog catcher in this municipality. And they lost their jobs. Because they did. That's, again, I'm going to say this one more damn time. If you want to rig an election, you start 2 years ahead. Or 10. 2020 is going to be a very important year, and a lot of people have realized they need to stop doing this. No, they need to stop doing it. Republican and Democrat both. Okay? That's election manipulation. That's manipulated. That's deliberate. That happens. This is normal. You've got to, you just accept it. This happens. And as long as it's not illegal to do this, and I've done a video about this, nobody listens. Do you really care who your state treasurer is? Can you name your state treasurer without looking him up or her up? I can't. What about your representative for your district, the district you're in, the district that became the district that was the vote? No, I'm not kidding. Do you know who do you know any of these people? No, you don't. You just voted party ticket or whatever, or voted for whoever was there because they're running unopposed because no one will go against them because there's no point because they've gerrymandered everything. The fix was in and it ran over people because usually it's your state's little hobgoblin of bureaucracy that keeps maintaining their jobs because they like their cushy little job. You don't know who your representative is, and they don't want you to know who they are. They don't do anything. They get a salary and a bunch of perks, and they have a bunch of power, and businesses give them lots of bribes, and they don't want you to know who they are because you'll fire them. Is it clear as hell yet? Now let's go back to talking about the Russians. Over half of the fake news sites I review, because they're the source for the crap videos I do. Like I'm a crap video maker. I take it easy. I look for a story that is overtly fake and just find out where the stupid story came from. I'm just trying to figure out where they came up with the story. Half the time it's more entertaining just to hear the story. I want to know where the story came from. The real story is who came up with it and where and for how many cookies. And on Someone's Bones website, for instance, it's a guy who's a Serbian who uses a variation of Vladimir Putin's name. And he's very obviously a propagandist working for the Russians, because he is. The Serbian population may have a good or bad experience with the Russians, but he's very much pro-Putin. There's a bunch of pages like that. And I'm not being nice about this. This is going to sound very partisan, but it really isn't. One of the big reasons I did not want to deal with Trump being president is because he is incredulous. He's not incredulous. He's credulous. He doesn't care if something's factual if it makes him feel good to repeat it. That's damn bad. He actively seeks out what we're now calling fake news or post-truth. But, and that sounds really partisan, but you know, I look this stuff up too, but I look it up understanding not a grain of salt to it. I understand that the stories are probably fake. For the same reason I look on The Onion, or I watch a comedy bit on the net of somebody making fun of the political situation. I used to get most of my politics, I'm not kidding, from the funny pages in the newspaper because they would be making fun of how preposterous things were. And they'd give me something to go look up so I could get the real story. I don't believe the comic strip. I look up the subject. Trump doesn't look up beyond Dilbert. Do you understand why I have a problem with him? I couldn't care less if he was Democrat or Republican. He's neither of them, by the way. He's a businessman. He's in this for his own gain. He has an insane level of obvious, over-the-top, he's just going to do this with a smirk on his face and troll his way in. He's already done it. That's my opinion about him. I can't really back it up or anything, but that's my gut feeling about him. That's after looking at people like WSO Steve Olson and Dark Skywatcher and Dabu666 and all these other people who just flat in your face lie to you or say stuff that's not true because they don't want a person who's going to question them or want proof. The people who lie to you want people who want to hear it, who actively seek it out. Which is the reason me posting a video with a dozen links below that prove my point has no effect on these people, because they don't give a damn. What they want is to hear something that makes them feel good, or more accurately, something that can wave in someone's face and make them feel bad. I'm going to bring up two of them. This is totally unrelated, but not really. Kevin Logan and Jenny McDermott. Jenny McDermott is a histrionic personality disorder case study. And a troll. I mean, literally a troll. She just screws with people. Okay? Kevin Logan is... he gets called all sorts of names, but he's doing something for a specific reason. He has some specific thing he's doing. But he's wanting to make himself important or interesting. but at least he feigns some level of decency, or tries to. Jenny McDermott doesn't. Jenny doesn't care as long as you mention her name in a video, which means I've obviously fallen into that trap. Kevin Logan probably wouldn't want me talking about him. I don't review him. I'm talking about their personalities. I don't care what their positions are. I could agree with them, for crying out loud. I like listening to Milo, I forgot his name again, Yiannopoulos. I like listening to him talk, and I like his attitude. I don't agree with 90% of what he's saying, but the delivery and the way he does it, and the lack of give a damn if you really respect his opinion, I appreciate. But that doesn't mean he's right. I don't confuse how someone makes me feel with whether or not they're lying to my ass. Trump doesn't check that stuff. And the people who lie to you on the internet, they don't want you checking either. There's a personality type that would rather be able to get away with having a winning argument at the table with their relatives that hate them at that point, rather win that argument than really live in a real world. They don't care, and they don't really believe what they're saying or feeling at all. They don't believe this. Trump doesn't believe any of the damn thing he says. He wouldn't be an effective businessman or a sociopath that he would need to be a politician the way he is if he believed everything he was saying. He's trolling. Jenny McDermott absolutely doesn't believe anything she's saying. She's full of it. Kevin Logan actually believes what he's saying sometimes. I don't know that I'm saying something perfectly true either, because I'm not the one at the South Pole doing the core samples or looking through the telescope that night to see a gamma ray burst or not. I'll be doing a video on that. The point I'm making here is there's a kind of personality that doesn't care about facts. Okay? Now I'm going to review this. Do the vote machines get altered? I have personally hacked a voting machine when it was decommissioned and took it apart and hacked it. 4 years after someone else already did it. They're very easily hacked. That didn't happen very much this year. The interference in the last two elections were disrupting the ability to count the votes from the machines. And I got to participate really short period of time blocking that attack by attacking the IP addresses of the people who were doing the hacking. A lot of them were tunneling in from Pakistan for some damn reason, which I don't get. That's the group I was assigned to take down. Obviously, if it's traffic from Pakistan trying to blacklist a bunch of voting machines in Wisconsin, it doesn't matter if I'm attacking them. I'm not attacking the voting machines. I'm attacking Pakistan or whatever country it was. We never knew really what country it was. But the reason I'm saying this is this stuff really does happen. Okay? I'm not going to participate in it anymore because there's a high risk to it now, and it's harder for anybody to get away with. So we have a better system now. People saying, well, this, and this happened. Do you really believe the Russians didn't want those leaks to happen? No, I'm not. Just do that. I don't really know if they actually did the leaks, okay? But I do know the group of people that did do one of the leaks. One is bankrolled by the Russians, because they are. Because they tell everybody that. Because they ooze Russian. You don't understand. You don't poke your head into that part of the net. You don't have to take my word for it. And the reason you're not going to get a straight answer out of the CIA is they're investigating this, because they have to go back and figure out how they're going to blacklist and block all this crap again. And their only thing is, did they actually have an effect on the election? They did. Spreading fake stories. All the hacking in the world doesn't do as much as manipulating a person's mind by telling them what they need to hear so they can win a stupid argument on the net. And that trolling drive is what they exploited. Ordinary sadism won that election. Or didn't. It'll take us years to know. But don't you dare believe that China and Russia and the other countries didn't try to cause that. Sowing the seeds of discontent in this country is the only goal for several departments in every country. Just get over it and live with it, alright? I do. And you're seeing it in the comment sections about half the time when you're on the net. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.